Hey everyone, it's plushie here coming back at you guys today with another video, and it's going to be another plushie deep dive video all around. Let me fix his little hood, but it's going to be all around these cute little guys called the Monchhichis. And just before we get into the real meat and potatoes of the video, I do want to say that I am hoping to post a little bit more regularly. Hopefully this video is coming out pretty soon after my last one, because I know I took quite another large break there in between videos. Life has just been kind of crazy this year. A lot has happened for me, but yeah, and health kind of things, and I did actually go back to school, so I am doing that while working full-time. So full-time grad school and full-time school has been taking up a huge chunk of my time, as you can imagine. But yeah, so I'm hoping, I really want to get some more videos up for you guys, because I really do enjoy making these and making content. All right, let's get started. So getting into the origins of Monchhichis, they were released back in 1974. They were created by Yoshiharu Washino. My apologies, I'll put the name there as well, for Sekiguchi Corporation, which is a Japanese company that started back in 1918 by Koichi Sekiguchi. I actually have a Mew plush from them that I'll picture over here. But these little guys were an improvement basically off of another toy, another plush monkey toy doll called the Kuta Kuta Monkey. And for Monchhichi, their original name was actually a bit longer, Futagono Monchhichi, and shortened to Monchhichi. But the name Monchhichi actually comes from French, is derived from the words mon, which means mine, and then petite, which means small and cute thing. So yeah, super duper cute, and they're called a bunch of different things in other countries, which I'll get to in a bit, but I think the most other common name for them would be Chikaboo. And getting into the first Monchhichi dolls, so there were girls and boys. They had the, which I'll take this little guy's hood off. They had the kind of like traditional brown fur of the monkey. They had these cute little faces with the freckles and the same kind of aesthetic or look, I guess, of the face. One of the big differences were that they actually had blue eyes. A lot of the Monchhichis now have this more dark brown. And then they had plastic hands and feet, just like this Monchhichi here, with a little dummy in their hand with kind of like a light pink coloring around it. And they had little beans in their body. But yeah, and then the little tail back here and everything, kind of standard like this. And then another thing that was specific to the 1974 Monchhichis was the green writing on their tags. I'll put some pictures up over here, but if you are looking for an original 1974 vintage Monchhichi, that is one of the things to also look out for. And in the 1974 release was just within Japan, but in the following year, in 1975, they started to export to other countries, as far as Germany and Austria, I believe, were the first two, and then in the following years, the United Kingdom, Italy, France, Denmark, so on and so forth. They were very popular, and actually, for as far as the naming of what they were called in other countries, Chikaboo was what they called them in the UK, Monchhichi, I think, in Italy. I am so sorry if I'm butchering these, but Kiki in France, and then Bo in Denmark. I'm not sure. I'll put it up here as well. They also had a lot of fakes going around, as with most collectibles. They still do even today, but these were not officially licensed Monchhichi dolls produced in Hungary. They call them Monchhichi, and then Spain, Verkiki. So that was kind of interesting, I feel like, of overall like face that they had. And then come 1980, Mattel, the American toy company, actually bought the license to release Monchhichis in the USA, and they actually had a little Monchhichi prints on their foot, or like little marks that I'll show you here. And they also had some differences as far as the tags were all printed in black. They also had the color of the suckable dummies, this like light pink color here at the bottom. They had a more brighter pink than the original Monchhichis. And yeah, and the fur was actually a lot more loose fitting on the head. I've honestly noticed differences in all of the Monchhichis that I have of like their fur. Like this one is really not well done in my opinion. Then throughout the 80s, they released a ton more different sizes of Monchhichis, including 5 inches and 18 inches. And they sold like separate clothes and accessories of different kinds to go with your little Monchhichi doll. And the height of the Monchhichis doll's popularity was actually in Germany in the 80s, because they even surpassed the Japanese figure sales. So I thought that was super interesting. And they had 2 TV show releases. So in 1980, they had the Japanese anime series Monchhichi Twins, Futego no Monchhichi. And then in 1983, the American cartoon, they actually released one here just called Monchhichis, which was produced by Hanna-Barbera. And I found somewhere that it aired typically on Sunday mornings on ABC as a part of the Monchhichi / Little Rascals / Richie Rich show of, I guess maybe that was just like the typical Saturday morning cartoon. So I think that's kind of crazy of like just how quickly these little monkeys became so crazy popular to even get like a cable TV show on ABC of all things, and really speaks to how big of a hit they were. And then come 1985, after this huge spike of popularity, Mattel actually ended up dropping the Monchhichi line due to poor sales. And then it wasn't actually until the 30th anniversary of Monchhichis that they were reintroduced by the Sekiguchi company in 2004. And then later in 2013, Sekiguchi actually decided to distribute Monchhichi worldwide and stopped the licensing and use of different names in foreign countries, and decided to unify all under one brand of Monchhichi, of what we know today. And today they are super duper popular, really in Europe, but also the US. I've seen them really pop off on TikTok within like the recent years, or honestly I would say even like the last year, which is honestly really what got me into them. And as far as where you can find Monchhichis in the US, you can find them within places like Urban Outfitters, Hot Topic, FYE, and other like little smaller like hobby shops and bookstores. Kinokuniya, I believe there's multiples of that one. I visited one in Georgia and actually saw the new Hello Kitty ones. They're being sold at Urban as well. But yeah, today we have many different variants and sizes of Monchhichis. The original Monchhichi is still available under the classic variants in 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 24 centimeters, 45 centimeters, and even 80 centimeters. But there are other variants like Mother Care Monchhichi. So she has a little tiny baby Chi-Chi in her pocket. And then there's anniversary editions. There's even doll houses for Monchhichis. And as far as like really specific styles that I can kind of identify is the baby Chi-Chi, which I have 2 here to show you guys. They are so cute. You can see the face is a little bit more infantile than perhaps the normal Monchhichi. So cute. I love the little face. And then Chimutan, which I do not have a Chimutan. I will put a picture of him on screen of what they look like. I realize my iPad is like illuminating the bottom half of my face, so I'm sorry about that. It's getting a little bit late. Let me see if I can turn the brightness down. Okay, that's better. I probably just looked so bad. I have no makeup on and then just this. Wonderful. But anyways, I have had the worst time trying to get a Chimutan, but it's like, it looks very similar, to Monchhichis, but a little bit different in some of the facial features. The eyes, I feel like, are more, like, kind of like almost, Precious Moments looking. These do a little bit too, but I think the Chimutan one's much more. And Chimutan is a bunny, so super duper cute. I really want one. We'll see when I can get one. And getting into the controversies, I think, again, like most collectibles, there are always going to be fakes of Monchhichis. Again, as with most anything, I think the vintage ones specifically, as well as I've noticed a lot of these little guys can be really expensive. So this one thankfully was not. I hope it's real. I'm pretty sure it's real based off of the tags, and I bought it directly from someone in Japan. You never know. I try to get better at vetting my stuff before I get it, or I usually try to get it directly from the supplier, but it is a pain when I feel like I can only really get ones from Urban Outfitters, which is not bad. But anyway, so if it's more expensive and just like a collectible item, people are going to mass produce fakes just to make as much money as possible. And that's been something that I think is a complaint of anybody who collects honestly anything, is the number of fakes that continue to pop up everywhere and counterfeits, and then even still selling them at reseller prices is crazy. Also, some people think, which I think still a lot of people think as well, is that the doll itself of their little faces are creepy. You could honestly say that about 90% of the things that I own, of whether they're creepy or not. It's really a subjective kind of thing. It really depends on your taste. But I think that is one of the bigger things that people like to complain about, and just don't really understand the hype around them, I guess. But as far as successes, they've sold a total of more than 70 million units in more than 30 countries. So I think obviously, given their background with, and this is a Hello Kitty version of in the Monchhichi outfit, which is so funny of having these two together, but I love them so much. But it's like kind of like reverse of each other. But no, I think it's so interesting that they have so much history, and just kind of looking back on what they were, and like the TV shows and things like that, and just really how recognizable they must be of being in so many different places. And I even had people say, I've had this one in my backpack for a little while, and so many like older people are like, oh my gosh, I love your Monchhichi. I used to have one as a kid, and like I remember watching like the TV show and everything. And so it's a really fun thing to kind of connect with people on, that knew it from when it was popular in the 80s, and when Mattel had the license to sell them. And then also within their successes, they've had tons of collaborations. Obviously, like Hello Kitty has been a big one. I think that they've done multiple. The other ones are further back, I think. And they were they are so cute. It's so expensive, as you can imagine, at reseller prices. But these, I believe, are still being sold with some other ones. I absolutely love both of these. Honestly, the little Monchhichi bag on Hello Kitty is so cute, and her little freckles to match them, so adorable. I just love them. They've also done a collaboration with Digimon, which is interesting. I'll put up pictures over here of super duper cute little dolls that resemble. I never like watched or played Digimon ever, so I'm not really sure, but there's like this little orange dragon Digimon monster, little pocket monster similar to Pokemon, I guess. I'm probably upsetting Digimon fans right now, but and then I think the other one is supposed to be off of like a trainer of some kind, maybe. But then Lazy Oaf has also had collaborations with them, and then Urban Outfitters sells their own clothes as well that has picture of Monchhichi, and like Chimutan I think is on one of their shirts too. And then Heidi, I believe, was one other one that was named. And Swarovski, or the Swarovski crystals. I don't know if it's like a direct like official collab, but there are little like Swarovski crystal Monchhichis that are super cute, and I really want one, but I don't know where to buy like an authentic Swarovski Monchhichi, but someday maybe. And then getting down to it of Monchhichis overall, of kind of talking about what I think of my opinion of quality, cost, uniqueness, and who it is for. So first, starting off with quality, this one I think has probably the not best quality out of all the ones that I have. I think it's just a lot of like issues with the fur of like she shed a lot when I got her originally, and then I also feel like there's a little bit of like glue, like dried glue that I can feel in this like by this paw, but overall it's like not bad. The other thing that I don't totally love is in their construction is they actually have zip ties that hold on their plastic little heads. It's not necessarily like terrible. I'm sure it's probably in other like plush dolls that I've owned, but it just is not great to me, especially like if I pull it up, being able to see it, and I just feel like that it could be better with how much some of these cost. I think you can actually see it in this baby Chi-Chi of the actual zip tie. So normally like he would have his little hood on, but just for the sake of showing you, the other thing with this little guy too is and this is, I'm gonna be picky. I know that probably not most people are this picky, but just for the sake of doing these videos, I feel like it's important to just be fully transparent on everything. Very grateful that I have all of these, obviously. Love them to death. But is like the sewing here on the little diaper is like the ruffle is super uneven, and like honestly, like these are factory made, of course. Like I believe that these are all made in China. Yeah, like even this little guy is made in China, and so it's not that I expect like pristine quality with like some of the handmade plushies that I have, that are really like near and dear to my heart, but I do think for how much you're going to be paying for a lot of these, it is kind of the economy is not great. I can recognize that, and inflation is terrible, but I just feel like you should be getting a bit better of quality, and I guess it is just something that I wish that these were better quality. These, I paid quite a bit more for these. Well, my partner actually got me this one, and these I would say, with being more plush than kind of like these little plastic limbs that they have, or like little appendages, I guess you could say. These I feel like are nicer, of these two little Hello Kitty ones. This one's obviously full plush, really nicely made. Like there's no issues. I feel like with the sewing is maybe a little bit wobbly here, if that's what you want to call it, but overall like super nice, and not as bad as like I feel like with the ones that stay more true to like the Monchhichi form. As far as cost, I think that this one, I feel like I paid $25 maybe for this little guy, which again, like inflation is crazy and like tariffs are getting crazy in the US. But as I know, a lot of other countries too are having costs are going up. But then for these were like $50 each almost. I'll put in the exact prices too right here of what I paid for them. But it is crazy how much I feel like they do cost and like this one is technically, since I bought it from someone on eBay, being like almost like $40 I think, which yeah, you probably think I'm insane. This is what all my money goes towards, you guys. You see everything in this room, this is where all my money goes. But not all my money, but I need to eat and live and stuff. But yeah, I think that, and then this one I believe is like $30 something maybe, and this one is from Norway, from Amazon, so I think technically a reseller as well. But especially like thinking about these ones that are like market price from Urban Outfitters, it's just like I do think that the prices are kind of crazy. And as far as uniqueness goes, I think especially like being like kind of like a more like vintage toy, they have like such a signature look for these little guys. I am happy that they are exploring like more different colors of like the fur and things like that. I saw one that was crazy looking with like a bunch of pastels. And then like this one, I just love the sakura flowers, are so cute. Obviously other places make monkeys, but I think that with how old these are and recognizable, I mean not these ones specifically, but overall the Monchhichi like brand, I guess you could say, or like being created from 1974, I think, you know, I mean, it really does show that they have stood the test of time, especially the baby Chichi is so cute. I do hope that they make more like little outfits as well for them, and I want to make some outfits for them too. But yeah, I think overall it's super unique. Then who is it for? So I really think just kind of like with the intention that Sekiguchi originally had with Monchhichis, of them bringing like joy and happiness to all ages, I feel like they really do that very well. They do have beans in their body. Obviously if that came open, that could be a choking hazard. I do think that obviously like their heads are a little bit hard if you want to go into that, of like hard plastic, but I think they're still plenty cuddly enough, especially like these Hello Kitty ones I think are super cuddly. It's super cute. And I think too, if like your kid likes baby dolls a lot, these could be fun because they are like a little monkey baby that has these little pacifiers, and all of mine will like, it does like fit in their mouths, but like they end up coming out, I think, because the arms are so like stuffed. This one I think does pretty good. I think he does pretty well at holding it in his mouth. This one though, no chance. Like I try to put this in his mouth and it just comes right out, and that makes me a little sad. But yeah, I think these are great for like adult collectors as well. I know some people have probably collected them since they were little kids from the 80s, and that is awesome. So I think, you know, it's really something that connects to all kinds of different age groups. So overall, if I were gonna give Monchhichis an overall rating, I would honestly, you guys, give them an 8 out of 10. They are really some of my favorite little guys to look for now. I do think that again, like, they are expensive, and I think, like, especially, like, I do want to try to start buying more like smaller plush. I have been for some time and really trying to be mindful and conscious about what I'm buying, and if I really love it. It has to be an absolute love, and I also want it to be a little bit smaller. And I want like a collection of these, but I just can't find where to buy them for non like reseller prices and stuff. Maybe Urban will release some, but we'll see. And then I really want a Chimutan. I really do. But yeah, I'd give them overall an 8 monkeys out of 10. Absolutely adorable. And let me know your thoughts down below if you love Monchhichis, and how you feel about their little freckled monkey faces. So cute. Love the little tails and stuff too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, I really like making these videos for you guys, so I'm really hoping I can do some more in the future. I'm hoping to do my next or one of my next plushie deep dives I want to do into Esther Bunny, which is a character designed by Esther Kim, and she is so cute. I'll give you a picture of the character. Esther Bunny is so cute. Anyways, though, thank you so much again for watching, and if you like this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more if you want to see more videos from me. And I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Bye, guys.